YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. It's being reported that the 49ers are unlikely to retain Nick Sorensen to be the next special teams coordinator for the 49ers. Obviously, Sorensen, former 49ers defensive coordinator, was basically fired by the 49ers just a few weeks ago as their defensive coordinator, and as he should have been, right? Like I've made videos on, why this was a good move and whatnot. However, once he was kind of demoted by the 49ers as their defensive coordinator, there were a lot of reports that came out suggesting that he could become the next special teams coordinator after the 49ers fired Brian Schneider from that role. Now, Sorensen obviously has special teams experience. He was a longtime special teams coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, and he's got experience in that, being a coach, being a special teams coach, right? Like he has experience in that field of being a coach in the NFL. However, according to Michael Silver, longtime 49ers insider, he does not expect the 49ers to hire Sorensen as their special teams coach. Kyle Shanahan mentioned after he did fire him that he would like to retain him to some degree and have him coach as a, positions coach or something like that. He basically just suggested that he wants to retain him if it's possible. Obviously, Sorensen has an opportunity to go elsewhere. He can go to another team to be their defensive coordinator or to be a defensive backs coach like he was before he was hired by the Niners and promoted to be their defensive coordinator. He could very well go to a different team. Not only that, but they have conducted a lot of interviews with coaches for their special teams coordinator position. And I think there's probably a good 2 to 3 guys that would likely get the job over him, which makes it unlikely for him to get the job. Obviously it's unclear right now which coach is favored to become the next special teams coordinator, but it's not expected to be Nick Sorensen, and it could be a situation where they just kind of go their separate ways. And going back to, Shanahan wanting to retain him, he quote unquote said he's under contract still, and I'm really hoping that he'll come back. That's got to be something he and his family have to feel good about. And the exact role that we end up carving out for him obviously has to be good as well, which I'll work on over here for the next few weeks. So, like I said, they've interviewed a handful of candidates for this job. And again, I think when it comes to special teams coordinator, there's a couple different candidates here, like Chris Banjo, like Jet Motkins. I definitely think the 49ers would probably rather hire one of those guys over Nick Sorensen. I think they just are a better fit. Chris Tabor, former Panthers head coach, who they also hired, has a long history of being a special teams coordinator. There's definitely better candidates for this job, and it's not surprising that it's unlikely for the Niners to retain him and promote him to special teams coordinator. Definitely don't expect it, especially after this report comes out or came out. So I don't know, man. It's definitely interesting because obviously if the Niners don't want him to become their next special teams coordinator, what position will he coach? Will he return to being, a defensive backs coach? What will it be? It's interesting. So again, Nick Sorensen unlikely to become the 49ers' next special teams coordinator. That obviously leaves Jet Motkins, Chris Banjo, Chris Tabor among some of the top candidates to become the next defensive coordinator. And obviously we will see what happens. But obviously let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. As always, go Niners, and I'll see you guys in the next one.